Let's take a look at how to extract small pieces of text out of larger pieces of text. Let's start off by taking a look at some basic text functions. The len function returns the length of a given string of text inside of a cell. And all you need to do is just enter the cell reference that contains the text you're interested in. And we can see that Andrew Fuller has 13 characters inside of this text string, including the space between the first and last name. I just pop this down. We can see the length of all the characters in each one of these cells. The find function returns the starting position of one string of text within another string of text. And the text I'd like to find inside of my column of names here is the space in between each one of the names. So the first parameter it's looking for is the find text. I want to find a character. I'm going to put it in quotes, and I just want to find a space. So I'm going to type in quotes, space, quote, comma, and I want to find the position of the first space within this text. I'll go ahead and press enter, and it's the 7th position. And sure enough, if I come out here to the Andrew Fuller string and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it is here at the 7th position. Like this, pop that down. The left function will extract the number of characters starting from the left in a string. You have to give it the exact number of characters you want to extract, and it will go ahead and extract them. Let's just try this. I'll type in equals left. We'll give it the text string, and we'll give it the number of characters. And I'm just going to go ahead and type in 7, press enter, and it extracts Andrew. But if I copy this down, it doesn't work for the other names in my list unless they happen to have 7 characters for the first name. But if I can find that space between Andrew and Fuller using the find function, I can then subtract 1 from the number 7 and extract the first 6 characters of the string, which would be Andrew. It'll extract the first 4 characters for Anne. It'll extract the first 5 characters for Laura, Margaret, Michael, and so on all the way down the list. So I'm going to combine the find function within parentheses of the left function to dynamically find the length of the first name. Let's modify my original left function. Come in here and double click, and instead of 7, I'm going to say go ahead and find the space character, comma, within this text, and then subtract 1 from it. And there you can see it. The find function here simply gives me the number 7. But I don't want to extract the 7 characters from the left. That will include the space. I don't want the space, so I'm going to subtract 1 from that. So essentially I'm taking 7 minus 1, which is 6, and this whole thing equates to 6, which before we had the number 7, and that will extract the first 6 characters from the left of the string located in cell A3. And I'll just go ahead and pop this down, and I get the first names from my list. Now let's go ahead and extract last name from each one of my names in the list. We could use either the right function or the mid function for this. The right function will extract characters just like the left function, but it starts from the right and works left. The mid function will extract chunks of text from within a large piece of text in the middle, somewhere in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and use the mid function instead of the right function for this example. I'm going to type in equals mid, open parentheses, and the first thing it would like, first parameter it would like, is the text string we're interested in. So I'm going to click on Andrew Fuller, and then a comma. It wants the start number, that is, it wants the starting position of where we want to start stripping off text from this string. I'm going to cheat a little, and I'm just going to say the number 8. We want to start at the 8th character from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where we'd like to start, is the F in Fuller. I'm also going to cheat a little. I'm going to come out here and give it the length or the number of characters that I want to strip off. That's the next parameter it wants. And in the case of Fuller, it's going to be 6. I'll press enter. Of course, I get Fuller. Again, in the real world, just like the left function, if I bang this to knock this down, I'm only going to strip off that same hardwired set of characters from each one of these strings of text, and it just doesn't work unless I have exactly the set of characters that I'm looking for. It'll extract King, but I'll probably get some spaces side of it. I almost got Buchanan, but not quite. So let's dynamically use the length function along with the find function, get just the last name out of each string. I'll go back to my mid function here, just make some changes to it. First of all, I'm going to take that out of there. So I've given it the text string we're interested in, Andrew Fuller. We're in A3, and now I have to give it the starting number. That is the starting position of where we're going to start extracting text. I'm going to nest the find function in here to get my starting position. And I'm going to say that I want to find that space we were looking for a moment ago within the text here. And this time, instead of subtracting 1 to get 6, I want the number 8. That is, I want to take the space and add 1 to it. So I'm going to take, which would be 7 here, I'm going to take and add the number 1 to that guy. So that's the starting position. Next, I'm going to come out and grab the length. Well, essentially what I want is the total length of the string, which is 13, minus the location, the starting position of the space, which will give me the number 6 in this case. That's how many characters are in the last name that we want to strip off and place inside of here. Let's take a look at the others. 14 minus 5 is 9. For Ann Dodsworth, her last name is 9 characters long. As well for Robert King. Robert King, the whole name is 11 characters. Minus 7 is 4, and his last name is 4 characters. So it looks like this will work. I have my first two parameters. I found the text I'm looking for. I have the starting position, and now I want the number of characters. So here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the length of this string and subtract. Looks like we're going to run out of room here. Let's use the find function. To find what text? We're going to find that space within A3. That'll return the number 7, and I'll close it off. So this is what the formula looks like. We press enter, and we get the last name Fuller. I'll bang that formula down the list, and it looks like it's working. You see, the first parameter, the first find function, in the case of Andrew Fuller, returns the number 8. We're adding 1 to the number 7. The last parameter uses two functions, the length and the find function, subtracting the length from the find to give us the number of characters that we want to strip off at the starting position, which is 8. And in this case, it's the number 6 because it's just the length, which is 13, minus position of the first space, which is 7, and that gives us the number 6. Next, let's put them back together. Just a note here. The name Andrew that we see here is derived by using a set of functions and extracting information from this text string of the first and last name. These two values completely have problems. That is, if I come out here and delete this guy, I get all kinds of errors out here. So basically what I'd like to do next is come out here and just show you a real easy way to turn these from the calculated formula functions that we have here into the actual value in the cell. In other words, I want to extract the formulas and put back in the text that the formula gives us and basically have it set up just as if I typed these in by hand. So an easy way to do this is to come out here and select my string. I'm going to use the shortcut keys because sometimes these strings can be kind of long. So I'm going to start here with Andrew, hold my shift key, press the right arrow key, and then do a control shift down arrow. That'll select the whole column. Now I'm going to use my mouse, place it on the right border of this, and when I see the four-headed arrow with my right mouse button, I'm going to click, drag to the right a little bit, and then drag it right back. I get a shortcut menu, and I'll say copy here as values only. And when I select that, basically it strips off all the formulas, and you can see in the formula bar now that there's no longer formulas, they're just text. So in essence, what I could do is just come out here and delete this whole column. Now let's use some concatenation methods to pull this together. I'm going to come out here and just create a new formula, and I'm going to say I want to take the last name and I want to concatenate that with a little string of text. Now if I'm going to type in my own text, I got to put in quotes. I'm going to do a comma, a space, and another set of quotes. I'm going to concatenate that with the first name. Essentially what I'm going to have is last name, comma, space, first name, and when I press enter I get Fuller, comma, space, Andrew, and I can go ahead and copy that formula down. And now basically I'm back where I started, but the names are swapped. Think of your concatenation symbol here as a plus sign that you'd use in text. In other words, if you take A1 and add it using the plus sign to B1, you can take two numbers and add them together. Well, if you want to concatenate two pieces of text, it's almost like adding them together, except you use the concatenation symbol, which is the @ symbol, or rather the ampersand symbol here. So remember also that if you ever want to concatenate your own little customized string of text, you've got to put it in double quotes and then type in whatever text you want in between the quotes, and it'll concatenate that as well. So the ampersand is just the glue that you use to connect all this stuff together. Now, just like before, I'm going to come out here and select this guy, place my pointer on the right border, hold down my mouse, drag to the right, drag back, and say copy here as values only, and it strips out the formula and I get the text.